Well, hey there, and welcome to this edition of B.E.P Talks, where we bring you the most exciting, interesting people from all around the world, all areas of expertise, levels of interest, stages of careers, all here to share their beliefs, experiences, and passions with you. They educate, they inspire, sometimes entertain, all of the above. Tonight is certainly no exception. And our very special guest today is Joel Salomon. And let me just tell you a little bit about Joel. Take a quick listen. He is so multidimensional, it's amazing. He is a coach. He's an award-winning TEDx speaker. He speaks particularly to the mindset and helps people get out of their own way when it comes to what's keeping them from reaching their own financial success. Who wouldn't be interested in that? Joel also founded his own hedge fund, and he has managed a $700 million portfolio. Tells me he knows a lot about finance and how to achieve it. And here to talk to us about all of the above is tonight's guest, Joel Salomon. Welcome, Joel.
Thanks so much for having me, Beth. It's truly an honor and pleasure to be here tonight.
Well, that's very kind of you. And it's really my honor. I'm so excited to meet you. One of the things that I didn't mention from your bio that is something that I am so impressed by is a statement that you made to me earlier that success comes from gratitude. It comes from service. I just love that about someone who has the body of work that you have behind him with all the success that you have, and you bring it down to gratitude and mindset. Where did that come into your realm of being from the finance world? You kind of don't always associate those two things.
Great question. So I wrote a book in 2019 called The 9 Money Rules Millionaires Use. And rule number 5 is the law of gratitude. And what I say is what you appreciate appreciates.
Oh,
What you appreciate appreciates. So it's a powerful rule. And I will tell you, yes, most of my life I was the finance expert, the money guy, the numbers guy, and I read a lot. And in 2008, a woman gave me a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And I read that book starting in 2009, and it really made me change my thinking, along with another book called The Secret that I read in 2008 and 2009. And so those books, along with Infinite Possibilities, written by Mike Dooley, have made me change my thinking about how it's not this kind of energy, which I did most of my life, which was grinding it out, working hard to, moving matter to make matter. But it's your thoughts that become things. And if you're grateful for what you have and still want more, that's fine. But grateful for what you have, the law of attraction says what you put out, you get. And so if you're grateful most of the time, then there's more and more things in your life to be grateful for, and that will come into your life. So that's why I say what you appreciate appreciates. And I have a long story about my daughter Morgan, but Morgan was the shortened version is Morgan needed surgery when she was less than 9 months old.
Oh.
And it was November of 2006. So it was a while ago. And I look back on that time now with gratitude, because I am so grateful that Morgan is a loving, caring, intelligent, courageous, but most important, healthy 19-year-old young lady, right? And so what could you be grateful for? Who could you be grateful for? And when you start thinking these thoughts, your vibration rises. And yes, a former hedge fund manager did just say your vibration rises, because when your vibration is up here with the vibration of gratitude, appreciation, joy, love, and passion, that actually is the same vibration as abundance and prosperity.
Mm.
And when you're down here, and if you're worried or fearful or angry or sad about your current situation, it's really hard to get here from here, right? You're on the wrong frequency. It's like trying to get to 102.7 from 105.9 on the radio channel. It doesn't work. You're on the wrong frequency. And most people don't talk about frequency when they talk about money, but it really is essential to having the life that you want. So beliefs and emotions and thoughts all go hand in hand.
Oh,
right. So yeah, so it's when you and the emotion, by the way, there's a frequency attached to emotions. I don't know if you've ever heard of the emotional guidance scale, but what I just described, love, joy, passion, appreciation, gratitude, is the emotional guidance scale. And so you're vibrating at a frequency when you're feeling an emotion. And so that's a really good tell on what your abundance is likely to be in the future and what your beliefs and thoughts are about life, about other people, about your abundance and prosperity, and about your situation when it comes to money.
You know, you break it down, it makes so much sense. Why then do so many of us struggle with what otherwise seems like a very natural, practical, common sense approach to how we spend our day? What's our problem?
Great question, Beth. And it's a really important question, because we're not taught the truth about money. And it comes from well-meaning adults, most likely your parents and your teachers. They're well-meaning, but they don't know the truth. They have limiting beliefs themselves, because look, these are generational beliefs that are handed down from your great-grandparents to your grandparents to your parents to you. They had well-meaning, but they didn't know any better, right? They didn't read these books like Think and Grow Rich, right? And so they were taught that if you're a good soul, you shouldn't have to care about money. If you're spiritual, you should be okay with just getting by. Rich people are evil or criminals, or you have to work really, really hard to be rich and successful. All these are limiting beliefs. And I found out in my life that last one in particular is a big one. And I think it is for most people. Work really, really, really hard, and that's how you get rich. And I will tell you, if you don't have the money mindset of a millionaire, you can work. And look, there's evidence all around us. Look at the people who are working 3 jobs. Are they the richest people on earth? No, actually, in fact, the people who are working the 16, 18 hours generally are barely getting by. But we're taught, work really, really hard and you'll be rich and successful. But there's evidence all around us of the opposite. And by the way, the richest people in the world, they have the same 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Yeah. They figured out the truth about money, which is it's your mindset. It's your beliefs. It's your thoughts that create the abundance, right? And so no one is going to, so that to answer your question is when you step back and really look at it, that's what's going on. It's thoughts become things, and beliefs are just thoughts you keep on thinking. So what are your beliefs around money? Are they empowering you or are they limiting you? I'll give you a quick story. Just a couple of months ago, I did a workshop in Manhattan. I live in New York. And a woman attended, and I just spoke. It's really interesting because I talk a lot about beliefs, and we spent an hour talking about beliefs and emotions and faith and other many of the other nine money rules. And at the end of the presentation, she said to me, "You know that people don't purchase products or services unless you've met them at least 7 times." And I said to her, "Michelle, is that an empowering belief or a limiting belief? Because if that's what you believe, you're going to spend a lot of time working with one particular person to try to get them to purchase something from you." And I will tell you, I've had many, many, many examples in my life, and I've done it too, where I purchased something from someone by meeting them once. So what beliefs and what thoughts are limiting you, and what beliefs and thoughts are empowering you? And by the way, your actions are a really good tell on your beliefs.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah. So first of all, let me make a comment. Thank God your daughter is doing well. That's the best thing that you've said. So how wonderful. And I think you should add very proud daddy to that bio of yours, because obviously I could see in your eyes as you began to speak about her, your I saw a change in your eyes. And that's wonderful. That's beautiful. So from someone who comes from finance, a very successful stint in finance, what was it that caused you to realize you wanted, you needed, you chose to pivot your way of thinking? And was it an event? Was it a moment in time? Talk to us about that, please.
Sure. So I was managing my own hedge fund, doing my dream. If you had asked me in 1993, what's your dream? I would have said money manager. It took me 15 years, but the idea here is that we're on this podcast so that my long road could lead to your shortcut. So hopefully everyone will get a shortcut here today. And it won't take them 15 years to live their dream, but it did for me. And I was living that dream. I had my own business, my own company, tap dancing to work, as Warren Buffett said in an interview many years ago, and living my dream life. And I had some goals to get bigger and so on. So I went to a personal development course at the end of 2015. It's about 10 years ago, almost exactly to the day. And there was a guy there on stage lying to people, saying that there's only one. He spoke, he was a guest speaker speaking for 1 hour. It was a 3.5 day conference. And he got on stage and he said, there's only one way to get rich, and that's stock options. And he said, you don't need much time, you don't need much money. This is how the rich people get rich, and options are essentially risk-free. And I was sick to my stomach. Day 2 of the conference, people were tapping me on the shoulder, whispering, Joel, does this make sense? So after he was done, we went out of the auditorium. I told him, please don't do this. He has no idea about any of you individually, and most importantly, no idea about your belief that you could become rich using options. I went home that night. I couldn't sleep. I think it was 3:34 in the morning. I jumped out of bed. I realized that if I could ever get up the courage to speak on a stage, see, my biggest fear that day was public speaking, I could teach people the truth about money, be of service, and not lie to them.
Wow.
So I got into my office about an hour later, 54th and 6th Avenue, and I sent an email to my investors telling them I'm giving them their money back. I'm shutting down my fund. I figured out my true purpose on earth.
Wow. That was like an epiphany that a total stranger, in a way, I'm going to say this, gifted you a vision based on his own non-truth. Obviously, he was selling stock options, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
So,
teach people now, sorry to interrupt, Beth, but I teach people now that you can get rich hundreds and thousands of different ways. And it depends on you. It could be stock options. 3, 4, 5 people, maybe out of the 200, we're going to get rich in that room out of stock options. but it could be stocks or bonds or real estate or crypto, but probably for an entrepreneur, it's their business.
Mm-hmm.
And so I help people whichever direction they want to go in. But what's different about what I do is I don't push a product or service on them. They come to me and I ask them what their belief level is from 1 to 10 in all these different areas, because I truly believe if you don't believe it, it's not happening.
I couldn't agree with you more. The saying, if you can believe it, you can achieve it. If you can see it, you have it. All of that, those things become cliche because there's truth behind it.
Yeah.
There is truth behind it. So, do people are people aware of a negative mindset? Is it a defense mechanism because they haven't achieved, that they're just not lucky? The guy who achieved know a guy who knew a guy who knew a guy, he just got lucky. There's a lot of that myth, that urban, he knew a guy kind of a thing. Is it ever too late to change your mindset?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. It's never too late. And so it's just what I do is upgrade the software in people's heads,
Oh,
right? It's just an upgrade. And there's some, it's kind of like you got this program running in the background, the malware, and so I don't go in to that program, that computer program from 1995 and start, adjusting line by line code. We just go to the empowering beliefs. We create empowering beliefs. You don't need to go searching for some invisible limiting belief. You know, I say that everyone I meet is perfect as they are.
oh, I love that.
And so you have it within you. You have abundance. You have a blueprint within you, right? That's abundant, that's thriving, that's whole. And then again, as I mentioned earlier, we're taught by some well-meaning adults some things that didn't serve you. And so we just have to upgrade that and create empowering beliefs. Lucrative opportunities always come my way. I am a money magnet. I can be financially free. I'm an excellent money manager, right? I'm a generous giver and an excellent receiver, right? And so now the other important thing, though, is those words I just said. If your mind right now is saying BS, Joe, that's not true for me, then don't say them, because this is what's happening, right? You're creating resistance. Every time you're saying, I am an excellent money manager, and you don't believe it, there's this going on. So nothing's happening. So what I tell people to do is soften them, make them your own. Instead of I am an excellent money manager, I allow myself to become an excellent money manager, or soon I will be an excellent money manager as we work together, over the coming days and weeks and months. And so it's important to say things you believe in. I mean, I do believe, though, that if you say I am an excellent money manager every day, 100 times a day, after a few months or maybe even a year, you'll start subconsciously believing it. But that's not going to work if you're saying it once a day or once every other day. And so if you truly want to change quick, you want to say things you believe.
So, too many people living with when you said you're saying it, but you're really not believing it, the imposter syndrome, which probably weighs heavily on the heart as well as the mind, because you're not being authentic and true to yourself, which I believe is the basis of everything, is that you can't be honest with someone else if you're not honest first with yourself.
Correct. And I empower my clients and potential clients, because most of the people I work with or who come to me for even just a 30-minute complimentary call are spiritual entrepreneurs, energy healers, they're Reiki masters, they're coaches, they're hypnotists. I had a psychic come to me a couple months ago, and what they're doing is life-changing for their clients, right? If a Reiki master who's healing somebody's debilitating pains in a month or two after they've gone to doctors for years, what's the price of that? That's priceless. And so, yes, a lot of them have this imposter syndrome, And so they're not charging the appropriate amount for their care. And what I say to them is, you're doing the world a disservice, because you can't serve if you can't eat.
Ooh.
Right. And I had a Reiki master that came to me 2 years ago. She actually couldn't pay me. And we worked out a plan because I really wanted to help her. And she was working 3 jobs. She was doing her Uber Eats and DoorDash and the Reiki. And she was charging $50 an hour with no program. And I said to her, you have a hobby. You don't have a business. And we need to create a program. But what's most important is you're doing life-changing work, and you're not charging life-changing prices. You could be charging hundreds of thousands of dollars for what you do. Some doctors are, right? If you net out all the charges the insurance companies are paying them, that's what they're getting paid. And you're charging $50 for life-changing events. I said, you're telling the universe I'm not worthy. And you need to step it up, because there are people out there that need her help, and people that only she can help, because they're only going to resonate with her. Right. And I said, so you're doing the world a disservice by hiding. You're doing the world a disservice by spending most of your time on these like DoorDash, Uber Eat jobs, when you could be changing more lives.
Yeah, it makes so much sense. So she's had the gift of being able to change other people's lives without realizing she had to first change her own. It all
Correct.
has to come. And, for women in particular, and I've coached this for so long, is that women come from service. It's kind of built into our DNA. And we think that we have to be martyrs sometimes. Women think that, and in so doing, you're not a martyr, you actually make yourself a victim, and you're a victim of yourself. And what
Right.
I've always said is that for me, the most painful thing is to watch somebody die. Speaking metaphorically, of a self-inflicted wound. So using that example that you just shared, that was a self-inflicted wound.
Yeah.
And it was killing her while she was you have to be alive so you can keep other people alive. So when the oxygen drops down in the airplane, what do they say? And what does
Put
the
it on
Bible
yourself
say?
first.
What
Right.
does the Bible say? Heal thyself. Heal
Yeah.
thyself. So you are available to heal others. I just love the logic of this. I love it's a linear kind of a way of thinking that we're all capable of. Yes, we're all capable of making this adjustment. And you said it's never
Yes.
too late to change it. So you mentioned 2 books, Think and Grow Rich and The Secret. For years, people would say to me in coaching and in training, they'd say to me, oh my God, did you read The Secret? I had never heard of it. And it was very big. Oprah was, promoting it at that point. I said, "What's the secret?" And when people started giving me copies of the book, and I've never read it to this day. Then it was a movie. I started to watch it, and I said, "This isn't a secret. This is what we're supposed to be doing."
Right.
And Think and Grow Rich, which it's based on, that was never a secret. It's all in the book. It's all in the Bible. It's all there. Seek and ye shall find. Ask and it shall be given unto you. Knock and the door shall be opened. Does it not?
Yeah. So you broke up a little bit there, but absolutely, it's yeah, these are timeless concepts, right? Timeless concepts. So yes, they're in the Bible, but we're I say we're generally not taught these concepts growing up, or they belittled. And the other thing I did want to mention too about the Reiki master, and I think most people who are spiritual entrepreneurs, is it's an inequitable exchange of energy, right? And money's just energy, right? So think about like coaching or Reiki master or energy healer, hypnotist or psychic, and they're changing people's lives, which you could say is priceless, and yet they're not charging anywhere near priceless. It's kind of like 3,000 years ago when you're the cow farmer, right? And you want a chicken. So you ask the chicken for the chicken farmer for chicken. He says, here you go. And you give him back 10 cows. That's what's going on. It's an inequitable exchange of energy. And so the universe sees that and says, okay, well, I'm not going to provide.
Wow. Makes so much sense. You mentioned Frequency. By the way, great movie. Frequency, a really great movie. Um, it's just energy. It's as you said, it's vibration, and we're all living, breathing, moving. We don't realize, but we're moving all the time. And I'm a pretty perceptive person. I can observe in people. I said when you started to talk about your daughter, the look in your eyes changed. I saw that, and I knew exactly why, and I loved seeing that. So it's all within us. We all can let it out. We all can get better at it. It's never too late. You mentioned your 9 money rules. Where does somebody find out about this? Where does somebody find out about your 9 money rules and how to bring those rules into their own life and how to begin to honor themselves so that they can be of greater service to others, their families, to the world? Where do they find that out, Joel?
Well, first of all, you can jump on a call with me. It's complimentary, and we'll go through them. If you want to read the book, it's on Amazon. It's on my website, salomon.com. By the way, my company name is named after my daughter. So it's SA for my last name, LEUR for Lauren, MOR for Morgan.com. And so, yeah, it's there. I also have a course that's built off of that book. It's a 9-hour course and it's only $99. So basically, we're giving it away because we want people to know the truth about money.
And it's you're breaking your own rule?
Um, no, because I would say that's not my core business. My core business is coaching and my membership. So I have a Money Miracles membership and I do one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I have a lot of
Not to be rude, what I think it's showing, if I may say, is that it's your way of giving back. It's a way of you showing gratitude um, to what's possible that you can provide for other people. I think that's a very generous. Say the name of the book again. Oh, Joel froze here. Joel, you froze there for a little bit. Um, I I don't know the last thing you heard. We'll have to edit that. But I was
the so
saying,
the yeah, so
go
the
ahead.
the book is the 9 money rules millionaires use, and rule number 6 is the law of generous giving. So I implement that rule often. And like I mentioned earlier, we have this complimentary call that people can jump on if they want to learn all of the 9 money rules millionaires use or go deeper into any of the rules.
Wonderful. And you are so smart. You've put all your contact information up there. And Joel is inviting you to take what he's generously offering you, can change your life. You said it's a 9 hour course. Is that something that people do? They self-pace it, they just go through it?
Yeah, so this is a course that we used to do live, and it was $888 at the peak. And so this is now a recorded digital course. And so it's the same information that you're getting for a much more inexpensive investment. So yeah, I would take the opportunity for that. And by the way, there's a lot talking about giving. If you go to my website, salomon.com, there's a lot of gifting that's going on there. I have 19 affirmations that you can download. I have audio files. I think there's 12 different audio files you can download for free.
Yeah.
There's affirmations. There's even if you want to learn about investing, you can download that, stock investing. There's all different types of things you can learn about.
Well, to our viewers, I have to say, for someone who has had the success, the financial success, and started a hedge fund at a time where it was kind of precarious, um, and walked away from it for all the right reasons, are you happier now?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, happiness is everything, right? And I say you create your happiness.
Yeah.
Now, even though I was doing my dream back in from 2008 to 2016, I will tell you I was only half happy half the time because I lived my life this way. If I made money, I was happy. If I lost money, I was sad.
Mm.
And I wasn't the best investor out there. So I probably made money around half the time. So every other day, on
Yeah.
average, I was sad. And now
Oh,
I know that I create my emotions and I get to choose if I want to be happy or not. And it doesn't matter what the stock market does or my portfolio does or my clients' portfolios do. It doesn't matter.
I love that. I love that. You said 2008. Boy, if you could survive the 2008 year, which felt like an eternity, so good for you. We all want to be happy. We all deserve to be happy. And I say to our viewers, please take the opportunity to get to know Joel more. He has, and I've been to your website, it offers so much. Take advantage of it. He's gifting it to you. Who doesn't want to be happy? Money doesn't make you miserable. It's not the solution to everything, but the absence of money can make everything feel and seem worse. I think you would agree with me. So
Absolutely.
money kind of connects you to other things that you can do, including gifting to other people, as Joel is generously doing for us. Um, I am fascinated by you. I love your message. I love your journey. I love your practicality and your generosity, and I thank you so much. And again, to all the viewers of BEP Talks, please take advantage of this. This is a gift. This is a man who started his own hedge fund, who ran a $700 million portfolio. You think he knows a little bit about money? I do. And he's smiling. He's happy. And he's happier now than he was because he can be. He chooses to be happy every day, not just every other day. That's a beautiful thing. Joel, I thank you so much for being my guest on BEP Talks and for telling it like it is, for sharing what was, for sharing your own epiphany, for the honesty with which you shared it, that you had that moment, that sleepless night that changed your life. Did you ever see that man who spoke on the stage that day? Did you ever come across him again? Are you there, Joel?
Yeah, sorry, I froze again for a second. I missed the
Oh,
last
I
30
asked if
seconds.
that man who you saw on stage, who you said was lying about stock options, did you ever cross paths with him again?
No, no.
Interesting, interesting. He played a very important role in your life. Would you agree with that?
He did, but I say there are no coincidences, only
No,
synchronicities.
totally agree. No coincidences. So again, it's no coincidence that Joel is here offering you all of these gifts. Please take advantage of it. Choose to be happy every day. Choose to change your mindset. Joel, the expert, has told us that it's never too late. It's possible. And you can get his book. Just go to the website. It will give you so many options. And I thank you once again from the bottom of my heart for sharing your story so openly, so honestly, with such common sense. I love it. I'm all about common sense. So as we
Thank you
always
so
say
much.
my absolute pleasure, as we always say at BEP Talks, please come to BEP Talks, share your beliefs, your experiences, your passions. Be willing to change the lives of other people. You'll be happy about it also. And as we always say at BEP Talks, may the best always be yet to come. Until we talk again, bye for now.